Alright, so it's time to undo the wiring in the boat. Some of it was done reasonably sensitively. I mean, probably in the mid-90s, someone put in these new panels, judging by the gold panels and the red breakers. Anyway, very inconvenient spot. And as tight as that little chunk of wiring looks, they used PVC pipe as a chase, as a conduit, as a wire tray. It's a mix mash of some old wiring and some new wiring, and well, let's just have a look back here. You may have noticed that all the wiring to the back of the boat, bit of a rat's nest. So of course I'm completely abandoning all of it and rewiring the whole boat. Somehow I think I won't be using as many wires. Well, you never know. So pull that all out so that I can get this area cleared out and start to put it back together, and decide what I'm going to do about a new sole in the wheelhouse. It's not in terrible shape, but I want to put down a new finish surface, a floor, and it's a bit soft, and the structure is kind of odd and not very logical. But if I take on too much, it takes too long to do it. So I've got to make that decision in the next day or so. It wasn't supposed to be nice today, but that's good news because it means I can put an extra coat of oil on the door and frame, and that makes me happy. Okay, let's pull wires. About the simplest way to shut the power off is to just disconnect ourselves from shore power. Of course that'll take out the 110, but it won't take out the 12 yet. The batteries are below me. I have a whack of batteries. I have 6 brand new 6-volt golf cart batteries. They're coming all through the heavy 12-volt system. I don't know if that battery switch here will disconnect it. Let's see if all this goes off. Looks like it does. Doesn't. There's still going to be tons of live, very high current wire in here. Look at the sides of these fuses. So I have to be careful I don't short anything out. I can't pull up the floor right now for another situation, but I'm going to get this floor up shortly and make sure that in the meantime, as I take this apart, I won't short anything out, and yeah, time to start taking it apart. Wow. Okay, here's the battery boxes open. So what I'm going to do is just remove any cables that are leaving the box. Okay, so fairly easy to pay attention here that there are no wires leaving these boxes. Excellent. So batteries are isolated for now. Hopefully sometime tomorrow I'll put on at least a simple circuit to the new panel. Okay, let's close this out. Now the fellow who wired this was relatively clever, and he created these wire trays out of PVC pipe. I mean, I can't say it was, you know, that bad. It's all different generations of wire in here, including some big splices right in the bottom of it. What just amazes me is there's so much wire. I mean, I haven't rewired the boat yet, so I can't say it won't be a lot of wire, but it just seems like a lot of wire to me. Okay, so let's start seeing what we can pull out of here. Maybe time to show you what's in here. This panel I had apart some time ago, not knowing why. It felt soft and insulated. Well, I took a panel, the cover off here, and inside is a stainless steel water tank, insulated. I can't imagine what it was, whether it was drinking water or a header tank for the engine. There is another little header tank for the engine. It's got these two hose fittings that sort of are cut off right here near the engine. So it certainly wasn't in use lately. Built a little bit hack, but it is stainless. Anyway, I'm going to explore that a little bit more and see what that was all about. Wow. This was some kind of hot water heater. It's got an element on the bottom, and here's the remains of the thermostat, or at least the high cutout for it. Yeah. This is a homemade hot water heater. Interesting. Anyway, I won't be using it. Carrying on with the dewiring of the boat, it's time to take apart the main helm, because the helm is moving to the starboard side, and a good deal of the wiring is in here, and I'd like to be able to liberate that so I can get more and more of the wiring out of the boat. It's getting to the point that because I'm still using some of the power, it's a bit unnerving. I have to turn off the power every time I leave the boat, because I'm wondering if there's some exposed wires here and there. So I'd like in the next couple of days to abandon all the existing wiring and keep pulling it out and just put in a few new circuits with a few things I need, some lighting, bilge pump, etc. Alright, so let's get this apart. Not much of this is going to be retained. Obviously the Morse controls, none of this. The wheel and helm device, the chain shaft I'm going to be reusing, all of the wood, all of the gauges, all the rest of it is rubbish. So this is easy. Snips. A lot of the wires in here have already been cut because there's 2 or 3 generations of rewiring and fixing and repairs, and it's just a mess. Now, just the Morse controls. And if you remember what I was saying when I was upstairs doing this same task, I'm stunned by how difficult it is to get Morse controls apart. You'd think it would be easy. I may, seeing as I'm going to scrap this piece of wood, just cut this out and deal with it later. There we go. That feels a bit hacked, but it actually worked out pretty well. This is technically all rubbish, although I'll probably save the breakers. Oddly enough, they're red-handled ones, but at what these things are worth, I'll keep them as spares. Alright. So I'm going to split this piece of wood around the Morse control so that I can get up in there properly. And there we go. This will make taking that apart a little bit easier. Beauty. going to assume you pretty much can't see anything anymore, so I'm not going to carry on too much longer here. I'm going to pull out the rest of these wires. Not something that you would find particularly interesting, I'm sure. Ugh, lots of wire. You know what? That's enough for tonight. Well, okay. It's been a long morning. I gave up last night, went nuts pulling this wire out. The massive nest of wire is out. The boat is effectively de-wired. That's all the wire I'm saving. Some of it is nice, heavy cable, which is great for running high current at great distances. All of the small 2-conductor stuff is a bit outdated. It's perfectly good wire, but I want to rewire with all new wire. So most of it will just end up being inventory for repairs, emergencies, things like that for into the future. Who knows? Whatever. Got several garbage bags of crud to take out. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do up here just now is get the hot water heater out, because it's under here right now, and it's going to move over to there underneath the new sink. So let's haul that out. So I've disconnected it all, both sides. It has a heat exchanger loop, which is nice, so it can make hot water from the engine, or more interestingly for me really, from the Webasto diesel furnace. Now it's probably going to have some water in it. Oh, crikey, it's bound to have water in it because it's heavy as heck. Now, I don't know how old this is. It's stainless, which is nice, and it's the current style. That doesn't mean it's new. But it's working perfectly, or has been up until recently anyway. Let's drain some nasty, rusty water out of there. So, starboard side, where the new galley is going to go in, electrical panel. Hot water heater is going to go down in this void. This was kind of a weird locker that was under this had a cabinet here, kind of an awkward thing. There's a few other things in here though. A vent, which I'm going to have to sort out. Most significantly, the expansion tank for the header tank for the engine is here. Radiator cap and all. Sight glass, which was behind a little door in the back of this cabinet. Yikes. This is the plumbing for the shower, which of course will be all new. You can see some repairs happened in here. Some of them good, some of them not so good. Bits of old lag bolts hanging loose. One header tank. Beautiful. This bulkhead can go, this panel can go. Yeah, few things to do. You don't need to watch. Okay, I'm getting myself into trouble here. This is a mess. This is a mess. These steps are a mess. I just lifted off. Anyway, this is all got to come out, which is the beginning of the end. Really can't get too in depth here, but if I don't do this right, everything above it is going to be no good. At some point, I have to completely rebuild the sole and the structure for the sole system in the wheelhouse here, but I'm not going to do that in this iteration. I'm certainly not going to do that in the next month. I now have less than a month before my daughters come at Christmas, and I have to have this place habitable by then. So I have to be careful what I tear apart, but at the same time I have to make sure I'm getting enough of the base stuff done that I don't have to undo it again after. So this is going to come out. Yeah. All right. It amazes me how many layers of door skins there are on this boat. Like, covered up, one layer covering up another, covering up another, covering up another. It's just revolting. now this gets interesting. So many little bits of rotten wood. Actually, not much of it is rotten. Okay, I'll clean that out. I want to get some better ventilation in under here. That's not door skin, that's 1/4 inch ply. So I'm going to cut this here, make another bulkhead here, cut that out, and that will be a great spot for the hot water heater. Yeah, okay.